Welcome to Master the Game. I'm Juice, and this is going to be a fun little video, just chatting and answering your guys' question. We will be talking about Vlogmas coming up. So Vlogmas, for you guys that don't know, Vlogmas is a thing that YouTubers do every year around this time. It ends up being the whole month of December, and what they do is they create content every day for the month of December. Now, I don't plan on making content every single day for the month of December, but I do intend on creating content throughout the month that's a little bit more straight to the point. It's going to be a little bit more of just, doing these videos on a variety of topics. And I've opened it up on my Discord and other places that if you guys have questions or you want specific content answered in a video, this is your opportunity for that. But otherwise, I will be going through this. Now, this is a pad of paper that I got as a Secret Santa a few years back. I'm part of an RPG group called the YouTube. It used to be called the YouTube RPG Brigade. And every year, or at least for a couple years there, we did Secret Santas. So I actually don't know who gave this to me, but the idea is you'd give a list of a couple things you would like to get under like $30, I think, and then people drew a name out of a hat and got each other a variety of things. So this was not on my list. In fact, some people would say this is a pretty crappy gift. It's fine. It's worked. I still use it. So maybe it's one of the better gifts of those. I do clearly remember buying Blood and Ferelden and something else that I sent to somebody for theirs that same year. But anyways, so I put video topics in this. And on the cover of it, it says, sometimes the most imaginative things come from the natural world. Now roll for initiative. So there's some thought put into this, right? And it's got like this type of fish of some sort. I don't even know. But yeah. Anyway, so I put my video ideas in here. I've got a slew of them. As I've covered them, I've crossed them out. And I do front and back. Series ideas, things like that are all in here. I've been keeping track of things in here for about 6 years. Now, I've started doing things a little bit differently in recent years where I actually just put them into, I have a Google Doc. Sometimes I'll just write something down real quick on a sticky note or whatever. So I've got some sticky notes right here that I've slipped in here and things like that. So if I don't have a topic from the community, I will just run with something in here. I'll just open it, whatever inspires me. I will do a video on this month. Now, I did already pick up a few ideas from people over on my Discord. And what were they? So tonight, O'Neill Flynn had asked me, and I'm not going to answer this right now, but he had asked me what are some games that I am interested in reviewing on my channel. And so again, I'm not going to answer that necessarily right now. However, the question that I'm going to change it into is what game systems am I interested in trying? Because I feel like I should try them before I really review them. I can review a game based on reading it and looking at it, but I think to actually give a fair assessment of how a game is, you need to play it. And an example of this would be Savage Worlds. The very first time I read Savage Worlds, made a character and all that stuff, I really was excited about it. I thought it was going to be an awesome system for me. And in playing it in a variety of different settings and stuff like that, Savage Worlds just isn't my favorite game for a variety of reasons, which I've talked about in the past on my channel. Doesn't mean it can't be. Maybe I've just not found the right group for Savage Worlds and me. I don't know. But I do have Savage Rifts. I've got the Supers Companion, the Sci-Fi Companion, the Core Book, the Fantasy Companion. I've got a bunch of stuff. So if there is somebody out there who maybe in 2022 wants to run Savage Worlds, one of those settings for me, that I've never played with before, then reach out. Let's think about throwing something together. I do like things to be quick and fast, and I do like strong narratives and things like that. However, I am not the deepest role player. I am definitely surface level combat type of role player. But if you can put a group together, or you need me to put a group together, we can work that out. Indigo says, greetings tonight. Hey, thank you for joining the chat, Indigo. I appreciate that. Paul says, stopped using sticky notes, kept losing them. Even worse was when I had an idea over multiple pages and one went missing. So Google Docs has become my go-to. For a while, I was using Notepad on my phone. I still have Notepad right here that I use, but I've noticed that I don't use it as much as I used to. So that one's not as good. So again, Google Docs, I just have it right here on my phone. Go into it, either start a new document. I do have a section on here that is called, let's see, I got random roll tables. I have content schedule, which is kind of what I'm talking about. However, I have a master the game video bank. And in this, I've just got a ton of ideas on here that I could just go through and pick a topic and talk about it. So I could do it that way as well. But the reason I think I'm going to go with this is just because I've had this for a long time. I've got a lot of things in here that I've written about that I think to start knocking some of these off the list would be good. So like, for example, one of them right here that I think would be really fun to talk about, if you had your own game line. So like if I started my own game line or owned one, right? Another one is reviews of different systems. So kind of in line with what O'Neill Flynn was talking about. I do want to address something that I want to do in 2022. I would like to review specific books I own that I have not done formal reviews on. So this would cover like Palladium Books titles. And again, this would be strictly like what my thoughts are on it, what I think of the quality of product, what I think of the art, what I think of the content inside. Do I recommend it for diehards? Do I recommend it for, specific types of gamers? Things like that. So I do plan on doing reviews on specific books in 2022. Palladium Books, maybe Pulp Cthulhu, Fantasy Age, the different books that they have in their game line, maybe Dragon Age, maybe Faces of Thetis, for example, for Dragon Age. So again, I want to cover specific books. Maybe I'll dive into Wildmount or, whatever, Descent into Avernus specifically. So, but that's more of a 2022 thing. For review, I would like to make it a little bit more of an edited product before I put it out. The videos I'll do this month are going to be a little bit more conversational. Obviously tonight, for a little bit, I'm doing this stream because I have a game at 8:30. So I'm only going to be on here for maybe another 15, 20 minutes tops before I go into our game on Twitch, which I would love to see you guys head on over to Twitch and watch us. We're going to be playing Call of Cthulhu using Pulp Cthulhu rules. We just wrapped up using Octone Cthulhu by Modifius because we were in a specific time zone, a specific point of history in World War II, and our keeper, B.N. Drake, thought that Octone Cthulhu would fit that. So that's why we used that for a little bit. But now we're back to using Pulp Cthulhu, and we're actually going to go into the Wild West. So that should be interesting. Paul says, I use Google Keep for quick ideas and can color code the note ideas for different things, and OneNote to flesh out stuff like Yep. So I used to like OneNote. I used to use it for a lot of world building stuff. To me, having multiple places is kind of an issue for me. So lately, my go-to has been Google Docs. And if I'm not doing something in Google Docs, I use Microsoft Word a lot. The other way is obviously paper and pencil. So, but yeah, so there's some interesting topics on here, such as like ways to turn around a game, preventing GM burnout, possibly interviewing Paula again. I know sometimes people like it when I interview her and get her perspective on things. There were a lot of craft videos I apparently wanted to do at one time. I like crafting, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that a lot on my channel. So, and to give you an idea of how old this is when I referred to my channel as Juce734. I haven't used that name in a long time. It's been over 7 years since I've used that. But I do have to do some things such as my preview video for my channel and things like that. So I still got to do that. But yeah, Google Docs are amazing. So I have multiple game system ideas that I've started fleshing out there. I started working on a newer one. I wouldn't say newer one, but it's an old idea I've had that I really started to flesh out a little better this last weekend. I want it to be a simple under 20 page like product that I can put out for you guys to play, quick, fast. You can play it with one player or a group of people. And I want it to be intuitive, quick, simple. And there's a specific feel I want people to have when they play it. So yeah, I hope to finish that hopefully sometime this month. We'll see. And maybe I'll talk about it in these videos as things go on. Missed the painting with Paula. Yeah, we like doing that, but Paula is trying to do other things during the week. So that's kind of the issue there. And honestly, to set up miniature painting is kind of a hassle. I have all my stuff right here. In order to do miniature painting, I have to like unhook a bunch of stuff over here, get under the desk, unplug things, move it to the table so we can paint and get the camera angle. It's kind of a hassle. So it's the combination of those things. But we like doing it. Maybe down the line, should we, have it in the budget to buy another camera and maybe another microphone and have another setup over there. So literally all I have to do is move a laptop. That might make a big difference, but we'll see. Don't rule it out. We might get back to doing miniature painting at some point. I do like doing it because it gets miniatures painted. I don't know if it would be a weeknight thing. It'd probably be more of a Friday evening thing if we did it. Just because she doesn't want to stay up late on a weeknight. Usually when we finish miniature painting, then we go inside and she'd want to watch a show or something before going to bed. And so then she's not in bed till midnight and then she's got to work in the morning. So one of those things. So yeah, this month we're opening it up. If you guys want us to cover specific topics, let us know. If you want something like a miniature painting, series from Paula, that's cool. That's not really for this month, but if you do want to see something like that, keep saying stuff and I'll keep telling her. Let's see, what else do we got here? There's things that I had as ideas that I don't think I'm best suited to cover. For example, RPG, running political games. And what I mean by that is games where like you're infiltrating the government, or maybe something more Game of Thrones-esque. I don't think that's a strong suit of mine. So I don't think I'm ever going to do videos like that, but it is on my list. Political intrigue style games. New to gaming series. I don't know what I meant by that when I wrote it down 7 years ago, but yeah. Paula's puzzles. So Paula is someone who likes puzzles. We had talked about her coming up with puzzles a while back and doing videos on it. And again, this was like 7 years ago. It never came to fruition though. In fact, we even had like a mock thumbnail. It was a terrible thumbnail because I didn't know what I was doing with Photoshop yet. But maybe we'll do some of that next year. Let's see. Players criticizing systems about mechanics. So I think the reason I came up with this, because I'm a big Palladium Books fan. And when you look out there at what people say about certain systems like Palladium Books, and heck, you even see it with D&D 5e. People will criticize 5e rules and, things like that. And so I think this was more of like, it would be like a video discussing my thoughts on people who are overly critical of other games. Things like that. I have a video idea here for dividing treasure with 5 ideas for how to divide up treasure. So maybe that'll be one of my first list videos in a long time. I don't do a lot of list videos, but that's one I could definitely do. My daughter would be down for Paula's puzzles. Yeah, like I think it'd be great too. Paula wanted to do it at one point and then she lost. She then backed out of wanting to do it. I don't know why. I'll mention it again. It's been a long time since we talked about that. Finding inspiration would be a good video, I think. My personal bucket list. So yeah, it had 4 things. It's changed to 3 things now, according to this. I'd have to, and the second thing on here is terrible. I don't know why I have that on there. So I'm gonna have to go and mess with that. But I still like the idea of talking about like my bucket list. I think that'd be a good video. Sharing Spotlight or Spotlight Hogs. That I think that could be interesting. Maybe some tips on how to share Spotlight, how to deal with maybe players that steal Spotlight. That might be a good one. And then maybe times when you don't really need to. If things are working well and the group is happy and you do have someone who really likes to shine and be the leader, let them be the leader sometimes. So yeah, that might be a good video to talk about it from a few different perspectives. Encounter ideas are always good, I think. Incorporating character backstory. The different types of problem players. That would be interesting, right? So yeah, I got a lot, and that's just the first couple pages. I mean, I still got a bunch. So again, I don't think it's going to be a problem coming up with ideas for this month and having something. Again, I don't think I'm going to do it every day. Technically, yesterday should have been day one. So yeah, but tonight I decided to do it. I had thought about it before yesterday, but I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. I was leaning towards no. But so lately, to give you guys some insight. So, oh gosh, I was really gung-ho coming out of RPG a Day a few months ago where I was like, yes, I got to get back to doing content. I want to create videos. I was super gung-ho, excited and pumped. And then once I got actually past that and didn't have the accountability to do something every day, I went through a funk. I don't know what was going on. But it was ideas were hard to do. And then when I'd start coming up with them, I struggled. And then I had good ideas, but I had to wait to execute. So I had some products that were coming, such as Temple of Elemental Evil. And there was a batch of things that I'm still waiting on that was supposed to be here a few weeks ago that's not here yet. And I had a company reach out to me that wanted to sponsor me. And they're like, yeah, I'm doing this convention. I'll send you some information for affiliate sales, things like that, and I'll send you some products. Then they disappeared. I've reached out to them twice since then, haven't heard from them, which sucks because I was really excited about a couple of their products. I was about to purchase a couple of their products to do videos on it in time for the holiday season for my holiday gift guide. Unfortunately, when they kind of ghosted me, and again, I don't know what's going on. Maybe something came up, whatever. But when they stopped replying after reaching out to me, it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. So I'm on hold with doing anything like that. But that sort of put this, I don't know how to explain it, but it just kind of made me pump the brakes. My excitement went from up here to, you know what I mean? And I was like, ugh. I was like, well, I was planning on doing that video and that video and that video. And it just was it felt like everything I wanted to do a video on was an uphill climb at that moment. And again, I could have went to this. I could have done something else. I let my own emotions halt me. We also went through with everybody in my house getting sick at once, pretty much. I'm the only one that, I got on the brink of getting sick, but everyone had a cough and things like that, sore throats. I had a scratchy throat for about a week and a half. Right now, I have nothing. In fact, the worst it got was I could feel the buildup, you know how sometimes you're oh man, I'm going to start coughing in a couple of days. You feel like you're fighting it off. You're tired all the time. I felt like that for the last 2 weeks. Yesterday was the last day where I had it, where it's the top of my throat, but not down in my chest. Didn't have a cough yet, but I had a scratchy throat. Was oh, I feel terrible. Was a little bit achy, but yeah. And so anyways, all this stuff has kind of been happening. And then I've also been really struggling with imposter syndrome lately. So when it's been time to run games or heck, even play games sometimes where I'm just man, I suck at this. I just really feel that way where I'm in my own head. I need to get myself out of it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I've been battling with. I've wanted to do so many things. I've sat here and wrote things for my homebrew world. I've wrote things that one system I was talking about a little bit ago. And unfortunately, my own, the imposter syndrome, the mental block, basically the negative talk in the back of my head was winning. So I'm getting over it now, but I would work on something. I'd be oh, this is terrible. Why am I even trying? Stupid stuff like that. So, but I think I'm past that. I've been applying for a lot of jobs, and the only interviews I was getting calls for were jobs that I'm not really suited for. Like maybe 10 years ago would have been great. Maybe 15 years ago would have been great. But like, I'm 36, not in the best shape anymore. And I'll get calls from manufacturing jobs that are rough. Like there was one job I had an interview for where you're picking up, 8 by 12 pieces of aluminum that are being cut out, and you have to they're down like below your knee, and you have to pick them up and move them and stuff. Really tough. And I was like, there's no way I could do that for 10 hours a day. No way. My back would be shot after not even a day. And then I wouldn't be able to go back to work. So that has been an issue. So I'll get calls about jobs that suck ass like that, which I want to do them. I wish I could do them. But then like all my experience in the last 15 years has been like office stuff. Like I've been a realtor, I've done sales. I don't want to go back to commission. I can. But then I've also done, like office jobs. I was a manager for an electronic contract manufacturer for documentation. Like we did data entry, we created work instructions, things like that. That's probably the work I should be going for. And I have been, but I'm not getting calls on those, which blows my mind because I'm perfectly adequate at it. Like I'm good at it. But yeah, Tim says, get that out of your head, man. I 100% agree. Indigo says, November was rough on us, getting colds here. Yeah, for sure. You could do a video about your homebrew, how you came up with it. Yeah, so I probably will. And I'll probably do it about specific things. So I've shared a lot of the stuff I've worked on in the past. I tend to jump around a little bit. So for example, on my homebrew world, the last bit I was working on was for my Patreon game that's on Sundays. That was the most writing I did. And I just kind of wrote about each type of business in the town and some stuff like that, some potential hooks around it and stuff. That was the last thing I did. I really need to work on my timeline a little bit for it. I need to work on some of the other areas, really flesh that out. And I also think I need to finish my map. I've got my world map, but like in looking at it now, I feel like it makes the land masses look too big and compared to what I imagine in my head. I almost need to make the world bigger and the land masses just a touch smaller. And maybe even add a whole nother land mass somewhere else. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But yeah, I like my homebrew world. I also need to add things that, again, that I think are more interesting. So I think it's interesting. However, when I go in and start messing with it and looking at it and stuff, I'm like, oh, this isn't very interesting. Because again, I'm in my own headspace, right? But I think part of the issue is when people are like, well, what's your world like? And I'm always like, well, it depends on where you're at in the world. Like if you want lower fantasy or lower magic, then you might want to play in this area. If you want higher magic, you go here. If you want more technology, here. So it's almost like I'm trying to do, and maybe I'm not because I like this. I want to be able to do all that. But I feel like when you talk to people about their worlds, they want it more focused. And I like the idea of it being able to do a lot of different things. So yeah, I don't know. I gotta make it better in my mind. To me, it's not there yet. But then like my homebrew like system ideas, basically I've talked about a lot of them in my videos before. And for instance, when I've done videos on like what I would change about like Palladium books or what I would do with a future edition of Dungeons and Dragons, I've done videos on those things. And in those, I've thrown out ideas that I would incorporate and that I've started kind of writing up in my own thing. A lot of the D&D stuff that I would like to see changed, I actually started a document that's like 60 some pages. Most of it's placeholder stuff because when I start to try and come up with something, I try to like put it in book format. So like I'll have all my sections, like how to create a character, or introduction, how to create a character, and skills, abilities, equipment, wilderness stuff, travel, magic, whatever. And I try to do it as an all-encompassing document, like GM section, monsters, traps, whatever. So yeah, I usually will organize it that way up front, and then as I'm inspired, I'll find that area and write about it. That's kind of how I tend to do things. So I do jump around a bit. It's kind of like how I do my videos. I'm all over the place, right? Like 1 week I'll do a bunch of videos about Palladium. 2 weeks later I might do Pathfinder. The week after that I might do Fantasy Age, you know? Just expand the planet. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Indigo says, 3 weeks ago, my roommate partner went to the hospital for back pain. While waiting in the ER, a lady coughed on her. So she got pneumonia too. Needless to say, my roommate has been upset. Yo, that's rough. That's really rough. At least it was just pneumonia. I mean, pneumonia is pretty serious, but yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things I want to do. Like, one of the things I've been considering doing too is picking up a 3D printer. I almost bought one, over Black Friday because there were really good deals that I saw. There was like a $300 one for $200. I don't know enough about 3D printers to really know what I was doing, but I was looking at like an Elegoo Mars. It was one of the ones I was looking at. There were a couple others where basically it pulls it out of the liquid, out of the film. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about, so it's hard to explain. But it, one of those. But I did look at the ones that feed the filament through and then do it from the bottom up. So I was looking at some of those too, because I've got the perfect spot just outside of my game room to hook it up. But yeah. But if I bought something like that, I would obviously start creating some content around having a 3D printer. So Paul says, I wouldn't go to the ER right now unless I'm dying. Well, and you would know, you're an EMT, right? So yeah, I have no intentions of going to an ER anytime soon. Not at all. But yeah, no, there's been ideas about working, getting a 3D printer and working that in. I actually had conversations with a couple 3D printer companies about a sponsorship a couple months ago that just couldn't come to an agreement there. So they offered affiliate status, and that was kind of as far as I got, where I was like, yeah, let's do this. But without having one and without finding a nice something that I can be proud of putting out for you guys as content, it wasn't worth it. And I've had that with some game companies. I have people that reach out about sponsorships. I don't know. It depends. Some weeks I'll get like 3 or 4 inquiries about sponsoring videos. And then sometimes I'll go like a month without getting a sponsorship request. So, and the thing I got to weigh is like, is this a product I want to showcase on my channel? Sometimes they offer to pay. Sometimes they're like, oh, we'll give you a free PDF. And I'm sorry, free PDF doesn't do it. I don't read PDFs. So it's not happening ever. If it's a small product, like say it's a DM's Guild product, it's like under 50 pages. Like I did that one, what was it? Ancestral Weapons a while back. That was perfect. It was just a PDF. It was a smaller one. I'll do that in a PDF for sure. But yeah. It's so crazy busy. Local hospitals have 16-hour waits. Oh yeah, that's nuts. No thanks. Need to organize my expensive toys like them. Yeah, like I almost got a Proxxon cutter to do some terrain stuff again too. But like, again, I'm right now at this moment, I don't intend on being a crafting channel. I love crafting channels. I like crafting. I have like a whole shelf over here now that is for my terrain and stuff. I need more terrain, but again, I don't want to be a crafting channel, like I know they do well. I like crafting channels, but at the same time, most of the people who have come to like my content, they like my reviews. They like my opinions, my tips on specific things. So yeah. But maybe down the line we'll do some of that stuff again. I don't know. I think it just depends on where the audience wants us to go, where I am inspired to go. But right now I'm not inspired to go that direction. Maybe a little bit of 3D printing. I don't know. I do a little bit on TikTok. Since I've gone through this imposter syndrome stuff, halted on doing any TikTok stuff. So I've saved a bunch of videos on TikTok that I meant to like do like video responses. They're called stitches over there. I've saved a bunch that I intend to do that with. And maybe I'll go through those and do full videos about them here on YouTube. That might be what I do, actually, because I get a lot of good ideas there. How do you see your channel? So I see my channel as a channel for games. So I do have like a target audience. In my mind, the target audience is somebody who likes a variety of games. They might like old school games. They might like new school, like D&D 5e. They might like just a variety of games. And maybe, like myself, they don't always have the time to sit there and get all these books and read them, ahead of time. And so, in my mind, they come to my channel for those answers. What about these games do I like? And so I'll share that with you guys, the viewers. That's kind of what I view my channel as. So, for example, if you've never played Fantasy Age, you can see us play Dragon Age, which is the same system, or Blue Rose, and you can see us kind of play the same system there. Blue Rose is intended more about role play than the actual mechanics of the game, but you can still kind of see how it works there. And so you can kind of get that whether you watch our live play or a recap or even these live streams of talking about it. But it's basically, for you guys as RPG fans to either learn about new games, possibly pick up new tips, inspiration for your games. That's what I view my channel as, something to help you guys, again, with those three things. I wouldn't consider myself an entertainment channel unless you like our live streams. And I think it's heavily based on community. We have talks all the time over in the Discord. I'm pretty transparent, and I leave myself open to conversations with most people. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. And then, I like to also give you guys a little bit of behind the scenes with the industry. That's why I do my interviews with industry professionals. Still on the fence about a Proxxon cutter, just not sure how much I would use it currently. Yeah, that's the thing. I think I would use a Proxxon cutter a lot at first, to get my modular tiles and stuff. But then it's like, am I going to do a lot after that? Am I going to get what I think is the value out of a Proxxon cutter? I don't know. Paul says, full videos, in my opinion, would be much better to get out what you want rather than a 1 to 3 minute video. Yeah, some stuff is perfect for 1 to 3 minutes. And the constraint of trying to keep your content shorter like that, especially when it's a simple question, is kind of nice. And for me, I can ramble for a long time and just go in circles about a topic. So, yeah. Tim says, the live streams are a lot of fun. Yeah, I like doing live streams. So the issue is, YouTube's not necessarily the best live stream platform. Twitch is. Twitch is much better suited for that than YouTube. But 5 years from now, YouTube will still be around. And I don't know if you guys go back and watch the previous live streams. I've got a ton of them, but I don't think a lot of people go back and watch older live streams. And that's the other thing. YouTube, again, is meant for searchable, specific content for the most part. But yeah, I love doing the live streams. Live streams are easy because I feel like I can talk to a lot of people about a lot of things. And because I am so open about my opinions and things like that, I think it makes it really easy for me. But it's not necessarily the content that thrives on YouTube, O'Neill Flynn says, imposter syndrome sucks, feel that way, and everything I do. Games are the worst for me too. Yeah, I overthink it lately. I don't know why. I'm one of those people that I need to just do it. Just sit down and do it. And the more time I think that's one of my issues when I edit videos, is I'll be in the middle of editing it, and the more I see it and the more I mess with it, the more I'm like, this sucks. This isn't worth the effort. But the more I edit it, the better it usually is. So it's like, that's me making it worse. So Indigo says, I don't get on Twitch. Well, we'll be streaming in 15 minutes on Twitch, our Cthulhu game. It should be up, though, in the next couple days over here on YouTube. We'll see. My computer's pretty full right now, so pulling down a Twitch stream to put up on YouTube is kind of difficult for my system at the moment. So, yeah, so we'll see. I think that campaign is ending around February. I think when I talked to BN Drake about that a while ago, that was what the plan was. I think we're on like episode 36 or 37, and it's going to be going for about 52 episodes, I think. So yeah, that's the one game we're still playing through Christmas. Other than that, I don't think I have any other games on the calendar at the moment. Let me double check. We've got our Patreon game in a week and a half on Sunday. So we do have that game, so I will run that. But other than that, we don't have any other games. I was supposed to run a Black Friday Heroes Unlimited game. Due to, things, we had one player who didn't have their character made. I also did not finish the other characters. I also did not prep the game yet, so I had to call it off for now. We'll probably run that closer to Christmas. So if you guys want to see the Heroes Unlimited game, it's going to be a one-shot. And we also still have room for players, I believe. So not a ton. I think we have room for maybe one or two more tops. So if you're interested, let me know on Discord. But anyways, I do got to hop off here because, again, we have a game coming up in 15 minutes over on Twitch. It's our Pulp Cthulhu game. So, again, if you guys want to check that out, would love to see you guys make the trip over to Twitch. That is twitch.tv/masterthegame.rpg. Should be down. If you go into the description, there's a thing called my link tree. If you click that, it'll take you to a web page that has all the different links. You click Twitch there, and it'll take you over there. Or you can just type in Master the Game RPG over on Twitch, and you'll find it. But would love to see you guys over there. We're going to play some Cthulhu tonight. It is a not safe for work game. We always do some over-the-top crazy stuff. Sometimes there's swearing and things like that. So just be warned, don't watch it in front of children, and don't listen to it at work. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And we'll see you guys next time. Game on.